Finally got this thing in here. This is a pain. This car sucks. Today I'm gonna be pulling the motor out this C5 Corvette. The starter broke a piece of my block off right there, so can't get the car to start. So to get it fixed, I had to pull it all the way out and get it welded and then throw it back in there. You could try JB Weld, but I'm gonna try and do it the right way. And it's an aluminum block, so you gotta find someone that can weld aluminum. All right, you're gonna wanna get this 15mm out. I already cracked it loose. And now I'm getting the coolant. All I did was move that clamp back and pop that hose off. And now it's just leaking. So I'm gonna wait till that stops. But in the meantime, I'm going to be taking out the wiring harness. Just remember, everything you take out and off, you also gotta drain the power steering fluid. And I'm gonna leave the spark plugs in, but take the wires off. Take the headers off on this side, it's off on the other already. Injectors, vacuum lines and stuff, so just remember what it's plugged into. Just got everything off of this side. There is a ground strap in this bolt here. It's 2 wires on it. You get that off, and good luck getting the oil level sensor off down there. Just finished up on this side. All I gotta do is take my fuel pump off the alternator. On the driver's side, there's a ground strap on the head, and then there's one on the bell housing. This one on the back of the motor, and then there's a ground strap right here in the bell housing. Now that I got the headers out the way, I dropped the X pipe. Now I'm about to get this shield off. It's a lot of 10mm bolts. All right, so on the driver's side, it's actually 2 ground straps. It's the chassis ground on the block, and then another one in the back on the bell housing. I got everything off on the passenger side. Only thing left is the 3 ground straps on the other side. Next, I'm going to take this belt off and the AC belt. So it's 2 15mm bolts on the side that holds it. Might be one more on the bottom of it. But I'm gonna get the compressor out of the way and probably take the fan and the radiator out. I'm gonna do the radiator last because I'm not trying to work in a wet environment. You know, it can never go smooth. It's always something. This nipple broke off of my radiator, so probably gonna get a new radiator. It was almost off and it was just barely on there, and then it just broke. So instead of taking it off here, take it off over there. You'll be a lot better off. Got this power steering line off. That way I just have to take just this one. I could pull the motor out. I could leave the power steering pump on. And there's one hose, but right below it, you kind of got to stick your hand down through here with a 17mm wrench and hit it off right about there, if it'll focus. It's really tight and it's gonna take a lot of small turns, but you could get it done. So far it hadn't been too bad. Just getting that power steering hose off. And the top 2 for the AC compressor are easy, but there's 2 more on the bottom. If you took the wheel off, it'd probably be a lot easier, but I just laid down and stuck my hand up there till I felt it and got it off. And then there's 2 bolts for that on the ground. You can mark where your hood is at, because I'm gonna take this bracket off and the support. I'm not gonna take it off from here. I'll take it off from down there. I'm just pick it up, move it out the way, throw it in the yard. While it's out, I'm gonna take off the water pump and put a different one on because it's already been shaved down for the A&A supercharger I got. And I think there's a feed somewhere on the side down here for it. And I think I got to drill a drain as well, which I forgot about. Yeah, definitely got to add that in there as well. All right, I got everything off. All the wires are tucked back over this way. I went ahead and took the radiator and fan out since it was messed up. Got my cherry picker in here. It's pretty old, but should get the job done. It's real messy in here because it just like maced me. Like freaking, the fluid just got all in my face, all in my eyes and everything. Luckily, I closed them in time, but yeah, that was a mess. The last thing for me to do is take the hood off. It's only held in by one trans bolt. All the others are on the bottom. I got a jack. It's barely on the transmission. And then I got a jack stand to hold the torque tube up. And I'm going to start pumping it up with the cherry picker. And then I'm going to let the jack go up with it. And it should just slip off. But you can't do it flat. You got to do it at an angle. So I'm going to jack it up as high as I can. All right, so I got the engine out of the way. So there's actually another ground strap. So there's one on the driver's side of the bell housing, the passenger side of the bell housing, one on the side of the engine, and I think there's one more. Yeah, one on the back of the head on the driver's side. So 3 on the driver's side, 1 on the passenger side. I definitely almost just like ripped it all the way off, but luckily I didn't. What else? I took the motor mounts out because I had the engine up and it was almost going to just make it out, but it kept smacking it. So I went ahead and took those out. They're 18s and moved it out the way, and then it just slid out and up. So before I took the motor mounts out, I was just trying to keep jacking it up and just like clear over it. Doesn't work. So that started digging in there a little bit. So I just let it down and took the motor mounts out the way, and it came out no problem. Don't pinch or cut your wires. I might have messed up down there. Hopefully I didn't. Shouldn't be up too high, but it might be. I'm gonna figure it out. I think it's just ABS lines and all that. So not too important, but rather it not be broken. Got my block fixed. Got it welded. Whoops, now you can see, got it re-welded. Drilled and tapped it. Starter fits on there pretty good. Hopefully it's lined up. Still gotta brush some of this stuff out the way. You definitely don't want that getting in your engine. But yeah, now I'm about to take it and throw it in the garage. I was gonna switch out this crank. I am not. One, because I don't feel like it, and 2, the AC bracket, it looked a little different on the other crank that I had. Got to change the water pump though. Don't know if you can see. Let's turn it. Yeah, all that crap is in my block too. It's from some like copper bond stuff the previous owner used, but we're gonna get that out. What else do we need? I think that's about it. It's ready to go in. I just need one little tensioner for the Pro Charger, and I can slap that on, but I'm gonna take this thing to North Carolina first. Definitely don't need a new clutch, but you know, one wouldn't hurt. So that will probably be very soon once it's boosted, but we'll see how it goes. Now we're gonna take it to the garage. Another thing, that bung right there is where I'm going to be using my oil feed for this Pro Charger if I decide to go with this V2 HD that I got. But I may get a self-contained one or take the one off the M3 and put it on here, because I really don't want to drill a hole in the oil pan, but you know, you gotta have a return somewhere. So that's probably what I'll end up doing, but I don't feel like doing it right now. Alright, got the old water pump off, and I got this used one from a C6. I think something shaved down on it somewhere, just to make it easier for the clearance on the supercharger. This definitely looks way better than this one, and it has less miles, so it doesn't hurt. And it's just held on by 6 10mm bolts. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and that's it. So after I get this on, I'm gonna slap the starter on, throw it back in there. All right, got the engine back in there. Got the splines on the transmission in the engine and the clutch and all that. So now I'm just putting it back together. Didn't cut any wires or anything, so that's good. Then got pinched. Got it welded back on. Let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, it's a lot sturdier. Let's see. Got it welded back on down there. Drilled and tapped it, and the starter should fit right up in there. And now I just got to slap it back together real quick. I'm going to take this thing from Georgia to North Carolina, and hopefully I won't get stranded. Because I broke this nipple off my radiator, I got a upgraded one. It's a little bit thicker, and it's a little bit wider. So don't have to worry about overheating. All you gotta do is take these plugs out. They're 17 millimeter, and they'll thread right in. All right, pretty sure I got everything back in there that's supposed to be all wired up and all that. Now it just needs oil, coolant, and power steering, and it should be straight. Let's see if it has enough juice to crank up. It hasn't been started in a very long time. So far, so good. Well, sounds like it's trying to break again, so that's not good. All right, it's been on the battery charger for a little minute. Let's see if this helps. Ignore the tapping, my battery's super dead, but I suspected I had a leaky injector, and I think it's the first one here. So whenever I put the key in and prime the pump, and the fuel pressure tries to go up, it would always drop and the floor got wet. So I took the fuel rail out, and it should squirt out a whole bunch of gas whenever I turn the key. Yep. Stuck wide open. I don't even have the harness on it, but anytime it gets primed, it just sprays. So I'm gonna just replace it, and that should fix the problem. All I'm gonna do is pop this little clip off and just pull it out, and the extra gas should leak out. Actually, it is missing the bottom piece of the injector. That is what it looks like. This is what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, so that's just a wide hole. It's not supposed to be there. And I'm gonna check the intake manifold to make sure it's not rattling around in there somewhere, which it probably is. When I turn the key, it should not spray fuel everywhere because I just replaced that first injector. So my fuel pressure should build up now. Oh gosh, another one stuck. Well, luckily I got a whole set, but these injectors, okay, all these injectors might be bad. They're just spraying. Now, I just got to see if this has hardened so I can get my starter back in there. Looks pretty hard. Now I got to drill and tap a new hole because this one was off a little bit, and it had the starter running into the flywheel instead of going through it. So we're going to try this again. So before I drill and tap this next hole, I'm going to jump the starter, have the teeth come out and make it stay out. Then I'm going to line the teeth into the actual flywheel, have this one bolt in, which is closest to the block, which is fine. Tighten that down until it's straight. Then I will drill and tap the second hole so it's like perfect. None of the injectors are leaking. My fuel pressure is holding. So fueling is good. Now I'm about to try and turn the motor over. Why does it keep switching like that? All right, now I'm gonna try to turn the motor over and see if it'll just spin. Hopefully I have the starter lined up correctly, and hopefully it doesn't just smack into the flywheel. So let's find out. Let's see what happens. Oh, It did something. I think we got it this time. What's left now is just got to put the header on, spark plugs, and should be good. All right, got the oil change. I believe I got everything wired up. Battery's been charging for a minute, so let's see if it'll start. Moment of truth.